gunpla is always freedom, right? It's a slogan
Mm.
from a long time now. The term freedom sometimes gets forgotten, right? To me, after this build, my whole mindset from viewing gunpla is changed somehow. Just feel free to build and feel free to try new things. Show people your new experience.
Hello, and welcome to Newtype Notebook, a podcast celebrating the work of incredible builders across the gunpla and model building community. This episode is our season finale. For those of you who have been following along, thank you so much for listening. And for those of you just finding us for the first time, welcome. As I've been working on this podcast and talking to all the amazing guests we've had on, there have been so many themes that have emerged across all of our conversations. The power of trying new things and getting outside our comfort zones, the freedom and creativity that gunpla provides, the importance of a supportive community where we learn from each other and lift each other up. I think today's guest really sums all these ideas up beautifully, and I'm really excited to have him on as our last guest of the season. Thanh, or Akio0504, is GBWC13's Canadian gold champion with his build, Shattered Frontline. We talk about how he got his start with gunpla, the inspiration and process behind this build, and the bold mindset that helped him take home the crown this year. And I'm really excited for you to hear the personal story behind this gold medal that will have you seeing his work in a totally new light. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy our episode. Let's get to it. You're out in Edmonton, is that right?
I'm out in Edmonton, in Edmonton, Alberta,
Yeah.
Canada.
I get the sense that the Canadian gunpla scene is very close.
Uh,
A lot of builders seem to know each other, especially like at
right,
the
because
competitive elite level.
right, like talking about competitive level, like professional level kind of thing, like advanced kind of thing, like there's not a lot of builders here. It's like you know under 50s.
Mm-hmm.
So we know each other's pretty well.
Yeah,
Like
there's not a
like
lot, but they're very good, right? Like
oh
I think
oh
about like
yeah
Simon Lamb. I think
oh yeah,
about
Simon,
Ryan
yeah,
Lau.
Ryan Lau, Ryan is just like 10 minutes away from my home. So,
Oh, really? Oh, that's
oh
awesome.
yeah, so we hang out sometimes. So Ryan's in Edmonton too, right? So in Edmonton we have couples of other good builders, but they kind of busy with their life, and they
Of
not
course.
really taking it like you know professionally. It's just their hobby, right? But their skill set is pretty good. Yeah, we have couple of really good like builders in Edmonton too. Like, when I went to local convention like Anime Fan, where every year we have a local contest, and me and Ryan is the judge. So
Mm.
we get to see uh so good builders like here, and they not like even like active a lot in social, so not a lot of people like get to know about them, but their skill set is pretty good. But yeah, in for sure, in Toronto, like where Simon is, there's a lot more better builders, but the quality of builders like improve a lot like since you know 2 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
From them, like there's a lot of good builders that coming out of the scene, they improve themselves, they getting more serious to the hobby, right? So we get more
Mm-hmm.
and more good builders. But yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome, man. Yeah.
yeah.
How long have you been interested in model kit building?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
what's your
it's
story?
yeah. Like 15 years ago, uh, 2010, 2011. Like when I get to know about gunpla is from my dad. Like he gave me a present on my birthday, and which is a 007 sword, high grade. It's crazy. I don't know where he get that, but at that time, but like because at that time I'm still in Vietnam, like yeah, I finished my university at that time, and he got me a gift. He told me like, oh, I think you should do something that's similar to your grandpa, because my grandpa is an how do you say, he's a painter.
Mm,
He's an artist. Yeah, he did a lot of craft and painting, like oil painting and craft, and he draw like um different like random patterns, and he cutting out of that, and he stick like his work is like really, I don't know how to say that, but he's like working on random stuff like wood blocks, painting, a lot of things.
interesting.
Yeah, and I got inspired a lot from my grandpa, in drawing. Um, and my dad told me that, oh, maybe you can find this one interesting, because my dad told me like he saw some guy doing gunpla on the magazine or something when he traveled on his business trip. He saw some guy doing like a sample of gunpla, and he decided to get me one, and I get that one as my first gift. And when I open the box, and oh, how can I even do this one? I get a nail clipper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one. So I cut it out very roughly, very ugly, but I assemble like everything, because we have manual, right? And I find, wow, it's fun. It's quite fun. Like because when you see your final build, there's a feelings that makes
Hmm.
you feel very, very like satisfied, right?
Yeah.
Um, so that's where that's when I'm really, oh, I need to get more of this one. But at that time, the price was crazy, because in Vietnam back then, uh the price of the authentic like Bandai kits is like crazy, because we like in order to get one, it's like a month or half a month of working, like with your
Hmm. Hmm.
salary, right? It's
Hmm.
quite expensive for us. Then I start to have my own saving to get another one. I think the second one that I have is the Delta Plus, the MG. Yeah.
MG. Okay.
Yeah, I go straight back to
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, MG. Like why small? It's just go big. Like I
Yeah.
have no
Yeah. Totally. I feel the same way. Yeah.
I have no definition of like perfect grade at that time. Even though I saw a lot of like bigger kind of model kits, but my definition of scale back then is not that much. I just heard people that, oh, just get the master grade. It's more
Hmm.
details. It's more bigger, and that's average that you have to build a Gunpla. So that's why I decided myself to save money and get the Delta Plus. Back then, I spent like a year, more than a year, to just like snap build.
Hmm.
Just get a kit and snap build, because we don't have the budget to buy a lot of model kit at the same time. So every kit that I get, I spend like a week or 2 weeks working on that. Just cleaning up all the knobs, uh, making sure that I sand everything down, making sure it's like perfect. So
Hmm.
I spend a lot of time for one kit. Like even the high grade, I spend like a week working on the high grade. Like it's not like high grade. You average time that you're gonna finish in a day, like for say,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
But I
Right.
spent like a week, 2 weeks working on the same high grade, because every pieces is like so precious to me. So I want to spend more time to observe
Hmm.
all the aspect of it. So that's why it took me a while to pick up my first airbrush, like 2 years later, I think. 2 3 years later, 2.5 years later, I pick up my first airbrush and start to paint. And there's a lot of mistake back then,
Mm-hmm.
because back then I have no definitions of lacquer, the thinner, right? So
Mm-hmm.
lacquer, animals, like acrylic, I have no definitions of those things. So I bought my acrylic, but I mix with lacquer. I bought lacquer, but I mix with like acrylic thinners. So there's a lot of mistake, and back then 2012, there's not a lot of materials online the to talk about like those stuff. But I found
Mm-hmm.
out one um a forum that I follow that specifically in military building. So there's a guy he's an admin of that forum. I think he has a very long post of how to define different kind of thinner, different paint, or with that that post is so useful. So I printed out, uh, I printed out that post, and I finalize everything and analyze everything, and get to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start working seriously on the next build.
Yeah. I resonate with something you talked about earlier when you talked about how it was really expensive, like really hard to get plastic model kits at that time. So like you treated every kit really preciously and you really took your
Right,
time.
right,
And
right, right.
I think that that's almost sort of like a blessing in terms of how you develop in your skills um, because it's so meaningful, like you want
Right.
to take extra care and you want to be careful, and your skills are only just going to develop faster because of that. I
Yeah.
think that's like a really interesting thing that you mentioned.
Right. In top of that, like every kit that I'm working on is my property, right? So we have to spend for it. And we have to learn something from it, right? So even
Mm,
the smaller like artifacts is need times to finish, and you need to spend time for it, even though it's small. You can just, for people, you can just like it's an artifact. You can just like sample
mm-hmm,
prime, and then hand brush, and then done. But
mm-hmm,
to me, like when I get serious in the hobby, is something else. Like every part of the kit I have to taking care of. I set my own standard. Like
mm,
every time, like I talk with some of the guy that they starting to get more serious in the hobby in Edmonton, in the area, like uh, just set your own like kind of standard, right. You don't have to follow others like standard, just set your own. Like
right,
whenever you felt you okay with that, it's gonna be your own standard. You don't have to follow anyone else. So I set my own standard when working on the kits. It's like every kit like I have my hands on, every kit is the same, even even though it's small, big, or very big, they they will have like they will have all the
mm-hmm,
same like standard I said. When I see Ryan, um, because his work, every pieces is perfect. Like
mm-hmm,
even small artifacts or bigger scale, he really taking care of everything. So that's when my mindset getting more real. Because it's not only me that set my own standard. Like even Ryan, right?
mm-hmm.
He he treat like gunpla as his own hobby, but he has his own standard too, and maybe it's even more than me. But everyone needs to set their own standard when working on a kit.
Yeah, sometimes it takes seeing a builder that has an even higher bar or has like even more attention to detail or perfection to help you raise your own standard too, in a way, is what I'm hearing,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And that's awesome. um
Mm.
so I look at a lot of your other work and I do see a good amount of like modification work. Like you have a particular style
Yeah.
when it comes to building model kits. Can you talk a little bit about how you kind of developed your modification style? What do you think are the things that someone can point at that and say, "Oh, that's like an Akio kit"? Like, what
Oh yeah.
do you think that there are elements?
At 2012, I get inspired a lot from Ide,
Mm,
because he's a world champion at that time, and it's a big deal, right? Back then,
mm,
it's quite a big deal, and his work on the result is impressive. And I start to set my own standard. If I want to do modification, at least it's gonna be look like, one third or one fourth of that style. And at that time, they didn't publish any, materials like books and stuff like you can get like recently, right?
mm-hmm,
So recently, like I felt very good for other builders that can access to those stuff very easy. You get to see like E-Days behind the workbench,
mm-hmm,
the style that he developed, right? So, but back then, everything is just stopped at pictures. Um, so analyze those stuff pretty hard. And I need to spend a lot of time develop on those things. Back then, I worked on the H kit, the double bullet, the high grade, the one that I worked like long time ago. Um, like I custom it, not that crazy. At that time, I think it's pretty rough, but I inspire a lot from E-Day. Like I have piston, I have open hatch, I have like open armor. Not a lot of chisels work, but I try to open every armor that I can to make it look different and more mechanical, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I developed on that one and just keep working until like after COVID. I think that when I get back to the game and be more seriously, because before that period it's just like on and off because
Mm-hmm.
I need because I moved to Canada right in 2012, and then I need to spend a lot of time to adjust the life here, and I need to study, find a job, and everything else that life relate. Like I have chance to work on a lot of Gundam too, but from the period of 2013 to 2015, like I work a lot on Transformer, like painting. So that's when I developed my painting skill.
Mm,
Um, it's funny that I developed my painting skill not like in gunpla a lot, but in Transformer. So I get to move that skill set to gunpla later on. But at that time, like airbrushes, like I pretty used to airbrush already. But modification I developed throughout the time. My wife, which is my girlfriend back then, uh, got me a new compressors and got me a bunch of tools that encouraged me to go back into the hobby scene again because she loves to see my graph, right? Because I show her like when we dating, I show her a bunch of like photos like what I did like in the past. Like I'm really into the hobby, and she told me, so why not? Why don't you just get back? You have time now. It's COVID, like everyone's home.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it's a good time for you to start earning again. And
Yeah.
that's when I found out like I in the same place with Ryan. Ryan got uh his first Canada champion in 2018. So
Mm-hmm.
that's when I found out about Ryan and I saw all his stuff. I started to talk to him more, and that's when we get motivated each other, and that's when I get back to gunpla building again,
Like the
and
serious building. Yeah.
yes, and that's when I released my first build, which is the GM sniper. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
that's when I finally found my style that I developed for a long time already, and I worked
Mm-hmm.
like really hard on that one. And there's a lot of support for me from that build.
Yeah.
And after the GM sniper, I uh, I built a Jetstar, which is the same style that slowly define my style later on.
Yeah, that's great. Well,
Mm.
it's great to hear that your girlfriend and now wife was so supportive and
Oh
even
yeah,
helped get you started.
right.
If it were like my wife at the time, she probably would have just gotten me all that stuff just so that I would stop annoying her when we were
Oh
stuck at
really?
home. So
Oh, oh yeah. It's like
no.
it's like my girlfriend, like back then she asked me I think in 2017, like she asked me like, what do you want for your birthday? And I told her, oh, maybe a compressor, because I felt like I want to do painting again. It's just like my mind back then
Yeah,
just set. Like and then it just stayed there
awesome.
until like 2019, like 2 years in a closet. And she told me like, why you ask for that but you're not looking at it? It's so weird. Like it's just like because of life and work and stuff. So I don't have a lot of time, and you need motivation because back then in
Yeah.
Edmonton, like every builders, they kind of work like individually. We don't really have a group. We have a group, but people just stop at snap build, like snap build night. That's it. It's just stop at simple hobby, right?
Hmm.
But what I want is just more serious. So it's quite hard for me. So I don't have enough motivations to work on anything until like I told you, COVID hit,
Hmm.
and I have some free time. And my brother, like my friend, yeah. So he introduced me to a shop owner here. So now the shop owner is one of my best friend too. He introduced me a place to get model kits, tools, like got hands, like stuff that wow, it's good. Like it felt good, like that you
Hmm.
have people around you that support you, right? So that's when I getting more serious and working on gunpla again. Until now, like it's
Yeah.
been 7 years. Wow.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And
Mm.
yeah, I love what you said about you found your community and then that's what really helped you sort of take off in your skills.
Yeah.
Can we jump into your GBWC build? So here
Oh
we
yeah.
are,
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah.
2025, 2026, and your skills have taken you to the world championship, which is amazing. Can you talk a little bit about the idea? Where did you get inspired
Oh.
to build this?
Oh. So this one I started to work on it in 2023, I think. That's when I get a snap build. My mother-in-law I just passed away last year. So at that time she already sick.
Mm,
And she wants me to use this build to enter a competition maybe. She told me like it's your dream, so you always working on uh you know a very good build, but you never like join any you know serious competitions that you aim for before. So why don't you use this one as one of your main kit that you can enter competitions? And after that conversations, um, I stop. I stopped working on this one because um, but I still it's still on my bucket list. But I stop and I just step back and think about what my mom said. And at that time, I tried to clean up all my pending works because I have a couple of resins work that I start on before this one, like just to save time to work on this one. So it's a story behind it, and I tried to rush on this build last year on after the local conventions, like which is August. So at that time, the main kit is basically done. Like at that time, I didn't know about GBWC deadline yet because Canada
mm,
deadline is pretty late. So I try to ask people around me, like, do you guys know like when will be the deadline for this one? So I can be more, more prepared. If I want to enter this one as one of the entry that I want to dedicate to my mom-in-law. So I have to prepare a lot, and I consult with my wife about this one. Maybe maybe this time I will put everything that I got into this build, even though maybe it's not gonna place or maybe it will place. I don't know, but I will put everything that mom says to me, and for this build, and try to work and try to finish like a good like a whole build that felt good in terms of concept, story behind. The motivation that I get to finish this one, right? And at that time, we pretty busy with work and stuff, and we have baby too that I need to take care, spend time with her.
Hmm.
So my wife decided to help me on that, so she uh, spend more time with my baby, so I will have my own free time to work on the build because from August to November, it's just
Hmm.
like 3 months,
That's not a lot of time.
not a lot
Yeah.
of time, and then because my mom-in-law passed away in end of August. So that's another story. So we need to bring her back to our hometown. So I have half a month to finish like the main body of the kid.
Hmm.
And we need to get back to my hometown and working on the ceremony and stuff. And we need to move back here.
Hmm.
That's when I need to plan. So after I get back here, I need to plan to work on diorama. So at that time, what my plan is, I plan to have on the EX and the Mark 5 in the same scene.
Mm.
So that's what my visions are. But I don't have a lot of time, so that idea it just on the paper. So I don't have time to work on the Mark 5. So that's when I thinking. So maybe why don't I, doing something different to the EX because all of the EX that you found online, uh, they are all the same. Like the pose, I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
the pose. Like they all the same. Like hold a gun kind of thing that it's quite iconic, right? So I want to
Hmm.
do something more dynamic, more, bring a little bit more action to the kids.
Let's dig into that a little bit more. But
Mm,
before we kind of get into some details in your work in progress pictures, I think is just really beautiful the story that you shared about your mother-in-law and what she meant to you and why
yeah,
this build is
yeah.
important to you. So
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate you sharing that story. And I think the care, even though maybe there wasn't quite that much time, um, and you had a vision in mind for this kit that maybe didn't come fully together, but I think the care and the attention to detail
Mm.
really shows in the work. And so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's beautiful to see. And so if we dive into the kit itself, so you had started mentioning a couple different things. And yeah, I think one of the things about these Sentinel kits and the EXS in particular is that it's just so top heavy, right?
You're
So it
right.
sounded like you needed to do a lot of work to get it in a way that you weren't just it wasn't just going to be standing straight up and down, and you do have like a really dynamic pose,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome to see. So maybe we can take a look at some of your work in progress photos, and
Yeah.
you can kind of walk us through some of the different specifics that you worked on.
Okay.
So you do a lot of great sort of surface modification, like adding details, scribe work.
Yeah, it's like it's not like a big deal of work here. It just like enhance the look of like an existing details that you have on the original kit, right? So my vision is like brings out every details that I find is quite like shallow. So I want
Mm.
to get a little bit more depth into it, and enhance the look of the kit itself. So From the beginning, my ideas, my concept on this kit is not like heavy customs. Bandai, they kind of wants builders to working on a kit, but still preserve the original's ideas, like the original design of the kit. And that's what I found out when I talked with one of the guy that, work for the Bandai. And even
Mhm.
Ryan told me that you don't have to put out like crazy kit bash or crazy modification just to impress the judge. You just like be yourself when you're working on the original kit, right? Just show them like how the original kit can be enhanced with just surface details, so they will feel more alive, more better,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can feel the
Right.
better, but you don't have to be go crazy for it.
Right. You want to keep like the
Right.
identity of the kit, the
Yeah. So
original
when you
kit.
look at it, it's a Sentinel kit. When you look at
Mm-hmm.
it, it was a RX-78. So that's what I found out after the finals. So it's a good tip for anyone that wants to be more serious for the competitions. So original design, you need to respect it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I am not saying that you're not allowed to go crazy, but it just you preserve the look of the original kit is good for you know
The judging.
yeah, for the judging and for
Right.
your score too, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why when I work on this one, I just trying to improve on the details, the surface details, and how I can present the kit in the best way it can be.
Hmm.
Which is the pose. The posing is one of my priorities. When I'm working on this one, that like I did a lot of photos like when I'm holding the kit with different poses, just to see like how can I put out that pose, but with a diorama on the bottom, right?
You mentioned some inner frame or frame modifications in order to
Uh,
get the pose that
mm,
you wanted.
The main thing that I worked on is the leg itself. I didn't work much on the top sections, but I work a
Mm-hmm.
lot on the bottom section because there's a lot of gates and design inside the inner frame that I have to cut out so it can, bend out the hinge on the joint at that far because the original kit like the I think is 30 degrees is the best that you can, bend it out. It's not much. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not much. So I need to work on that area.
Yeah. Just really
Uh,
that the hip area
yeah,
where
the hip
the
joints. Yeah,
leg meets the
right.
waist.
And I had to stabilize the inner frame inside that area, the thighs, because the inner frame inside the thighs is quite thin. So I have
Mm.
to strengthen it with putty and stuff. And then when I found the good positions of the legs, so I fix it with a whole pack of putty inside. So I feel everything inside.
Uh,
So it's not moving. So
got it.
so the joint, everything there, it fixed. So after I paint the MR, so I start going back to the inner frame and trying to finalize everything. I need to put like everything onto the top of the diorama, right? Find a good pose, mark it, and then start to put it and try to finalize everything because after the putty dry, so you cannot fix anymore. So I need to
Mm-hmm.
be very cautious when I'm working on that one too. But yeah, it's turned out like pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty close to what my original ideas are. So yeah, and it's good for transportation too, because the post is gonna be there. The position is already there, so you can just like put everything together, right?
Hmm.
So it's quite easy on that part. Because if I'm not like locked into to the post, so I don't know, like when transportations or when I take it out of the case, the post is not gonna be the same. The joint will move, right? So
It's interesting to hear that. Yeah, you did
yeah,
fix the pose on the kit.
like yeah, everything is fixed. Yeah, and then that's when I focus more on the painting itself because
Hmm.
I think I spend more time on the painting on this one more than the modifications. Um, but yeah. So after prime, I try to shade on the all the edges of the kit with black color, and then after that I just like shade again with another coat of white. I don't want to put out a lot of contrast on this one because
Hmm.
I plan to do weathering after this one. So
Hmm.
I will have to put a lot of filters and weathering and chipping. So I don't want the shading so obvious. So I try to minimize. So I try to do it like really subtle.
What kind
So
of paint are you using?
paint like Mr. Hobby. Uh, everything Mr. Hobby. Even the primer I use like 1500 surfacer, which
Nice.
is yeah, which is not. It's so sad, like which is not available right now in Canada anymore.
Oh,
Uh,
that's right. I heard about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So with the ban and stuff, so I need to find alternative. But yeah, I use the 1500, like 1200 and 1500 for the primer. And this is yeah, and this is where I try to put everything together, and then I trying to demo the post, and then I took it out everything out again and strengthen the inner frame. So as you can see here, this is the stage where all the shading is done, like the painting, like the base is considered done.
Hmm.
And I think about color, besides white, the blue one is quite hard to put out because I worked I worked a lot on color mixings before. So this one I trying to find the good like blue shade for this one. So I did a lot of tests on the paint mixings. I came out with that, you know, bluish with like purple shade, a little bit of purple,
Hmm.
and then mix it, and then because I have color separation on top of this one too. So how many shade that for this one? I think it's six. Yeah, I need to mix like six shade of that blue to come out with because you can see the blue. So I have a little bit of highlights in the
Hmm.
middle of
Trying to get
the
it.
the yeah the armor, right? So so I have two different color scheme. Because I have color separation, right? So each one I'm gonna have two separate color for the base and for the highlights, and another coat for the filter, another light coat for the filter, and then
Hmm.
after the filter, so I will start to do weather, and that's one.
What color filtering are
Uh,
you using for the
the
blue there?
color, the blue there, purple and red, like I mix it like really loose, and then I put on top of the one that you saw on the on the photos there, but not as a
Mhm.
whole, but like separate like parts. But this one already have
Yeah,
filter. This one already have filter. It's
got
very
it.
subtle. It's very subtle for the filter. I don't want it to be like really obvious. That's why when you look at the kit outside, you will see a little bit of purplish red kind of you know shade
Hmm.
on top. So this one is after I put another layer of effects. So this one I call it like model effects. It's like when you know when the armor getting out of the space, so there's a lot of environment conditions that gonna make the metals looks worn out and
Mm.
looks faded kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So shading cannot describe that uh, uh, very clear in my concept. So I start to have a research on how to do the effects that I want. So I can see like this type of effects you can achieve in two different ways. There's a lot of builder in China that they did a lot of this kind of effects already. But and I think Pan also doing this type of effects. But I think my approach and Pan approach is like two different way because Pan approach is he use advanced shadings, which is like you paint little dots
Right.
like yeah, and then
Mm-hmm.
after that you're gonna have another layer of base color to cover that up so you can have that kind of model effects. But my approach is like after shading I do hand brushes. So I mix another shade of the color, another shade of that blue, but acrylic. So I mix it and I glaze. So you know the term glazing,
Mm-hmm.
like in Warhammer,
So you're
people
like
you
brushing a very thin coat um, of that color, but it's not that it's like transparent a little bit, right?
right. It's transparent, but I don't want it to be like really glazing, like really loose. So I want it to be like, do you know like water effects color on paper? Kind of thing. Do you know
Like watercolor.
watercolor, but on on a paper, like on a specific paper, when you put a drop, it will like spread it out and it will
Mm.
remain the the edges of the water. It's like watercolor
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
Like illustration, like watercolor illustrations kind of thing. It's very random. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to achieve that kind of look. So I use glazing and I use a lot of dry brushing um, to achieve the look that you can see there.
What I notice is like there is an element of almost kind of like a sort of smoky, dusty look,
Right.
especially
It's
up at
like
the top
smoky,
there.
like smoky. You can see the patterns. You can see
Yeah.
the texture, right?
It's a
It's,
little bit more of like a streaky randomness that
right.
than like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sort of blotchy look that
Yeah,
pan
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of gets. It's hard to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
describe.
But when you look like far away, it's kind of similar, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I did. And I did a little bit of like chipping effects,
Mm-hmm.
like weathering, chipping effects with acrylic color.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I spent a lot of time on this kind of effects.
Nice. You had a story about the orange. Yeah. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, the orange. So the orange is part of the concept that I plan to have because the EX, my concept is just like shot of frontline, right? So during the demolitions of the frontline with the war and stuff, so the EX is trying to rise from the ruin that from the war, right? So orange is the color of hope, so that I can find. So I think I need to do something different for the color scheme. So maybe the left shoulder pad I can paint it orange, so it can be a little bit unique on the kit, but it's also have a little bit meaning behind the concept that I want to build on top. So that's why I have it there in orange. And even you can see there's a lot of builder that they try to do like different color on the shoulder pad, like which is like pretty cool. So but I built a little bit of story behind that. So when people ask about that, I can be more confident to say, oh yeah, it's relate to something that I
Yeah.
want to describe, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I love that there's a meaning behind the color.
Yeah.
Um, and the story behind the color. But it also reminds me of something that Pan talked about, which is that like anytime you add a splash of color somewhere in your kit, it provides a little bit of extra like visual appeal and visual
Right,
focus.
right.
Um,
That's right.
and
That's
I
right.
also, yeah, and I also like this orange because it also feels very much like a sentinel color,
Mm.
right? Like if you think
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
the Deep
Right, right,
Striker
right,
is like
right,
predominantly orange as well, and
right.
so
Yeah.
it still kind of fits inside of the lore in a way.
And I think I read somewhere, I don't remember where I read that material, but I think there's a secret color scheme of the EX, which is like the armor. The blue armor is all
Hmm.
orange. The original blue armor
Oh.
is all orange. It's like an orange armor kind of thing. It's quite fun to reminds me of that on that one. But yeah, yeah, yeah. And Pan mentioned about like the drawing tensions when you put like a color into your kit, which is a shoulder. Shoulder is pretty common when people put
Hmm.
different color in, as you can see, because when you're working on one piece of build, a gunpla build, like especially when you're working on a scene that describe the story behind that scene with the diorama and stuff. For my kit example, so which is I pull out that pose, right? So that pose,
Hmm.
like the EX hold the gun from right to left when you look straight to the pictures. So from the right to left. So I want the attention of the audience gonna see the shoulder pad, and then they gonna see from the right to the left. So
Mm.
every aspect from the top, right to the left, people can feel will focus on that first and then going lower. So that was my attention. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you're actually trying to pull people's attention over to the right side of the kit, and then
Right, right.
yeah, and it balances like you said the rifle on the other side of the kit
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
really nicely.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. Let's jump into the base and the diorama a little bit more. How about that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So this
Yeah.
is like a concept maybe that you're.
Yeah. It's the floor tiles. So I assemble together by a plot of platform. So which is this one, which is become the foundations of my diorama too. So later on, I put plot plate on top with different layers, as you can see. So I have to
Mhm.
trim, so I can put plot plate because this one, if I put plot plate on top, it's gonna be so big and it's gonna be oversized.
Mhm.
So I need to trim a little bit and put plot plate on top. So I trying to separate it with different layers of plot plate and platform pipes and metal structures to create the depth of
Mhm.
the platform that I want. So after that, yeah, as you can see here, I put like 4 layers of plot plate, and in between that, I put a lot of like pipes, styrene, rods and stuff to emphasize the metal structure, and I use
Mhm.
like heat gun. I use heat gun to deform the shape of all the pipe and the armor surface on the top. So it has a lot of like twisting kind of effects from the heat, from the heat that generate from the war, explosions and stuff. And I put like metal mesh, wire.
What's that black layer?
I trying to find the bigger mesh. Like you can see the metal mesh, like the little one that I put there, right? So I want to find a bigger one, but I cannot find. So I went to dollar stores, and I saw a lot of like basket, you know, those basket that you can store stuff and stuff. And yeah, I bought a couple home, and I cut it out and just like randomly cut it and deform it with like heat gun, and then put it inside between the layers.
It adds some texture, right? It adds like some different textures
Yeah,
inside of those
different.
layers.
Yeah, it adds some more elements to the diorama itself. And you
Hmm.
can see I use like bubble tea straw
Yeah.
for the pipe, because this one, if you use a plate rod, it's gonna cost a lot because I use a lot of
Yeah.
pipes. And one pack of that is just like $20, like $17.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's so, oh,
Right.
so my wife told me, why don't you use just like bubble tea straw? It's it's more convenient,
it's,
and you can
it's
find
perfect.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's perfect, right? So I trying to get like a pack of bubble tea straw, which is $1. Uh, and
Oh, you
then
bought a pack? I would have just gone to the bubble tea place and just grabbed the
uh,
fistful.
yeah, I bought a pack because the bubble tea straw from the store is quite thin, so I don't like it. So I trying to get a pack like this type of material is like a little bit thicker, and it's more durable. Uh,
Hmm.
so it comes with different sizes as well. So I get a pack, and then I got home sand, because the surface of the bubble tea straw is quite smooth, and it's not
Hmm.
gonna and the paint is not gonna stick. So I sand it with like 320 grit paper. So I sand a lot, and then after that I prime everything with black. So
Nice. How did
yeah,
you get the edges of the plastic?
I use soldering iron, but before that I use hand drill. Not hand drill, but electric one. So I use this one for mat works. So I use this one, the electric one.
Mm-hmm.
So I put a bit, something like this. You see? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I put it in here, and then I turn it on, and I doing a little bit of like effects on the edges of the plate. And then after that, I use soldering iron to make it look more organic, because with this one, it's gonna be a little bit rough.
Mm-hmm.
So I use the soldering iron to smoothen out the edges more, and then I use sandpaper to sand out the residual of the edges as well. So I kind of achieve that effects
Nice.
that I want. And after that, I use heat gun to deform the shape of it.
Kind of bend the edges up a little bit or
Yeah,
down.
bend the
Yeah.
edges a little bit, so makes it more organic and more realistic. As you can see here, so I sent you a lot of photos on the post, right? That
Hmm.
I demonstrate, like I try to test all the posts that I want. So so you can see a lot of poses that I put out to test.
Mm-hmm.
And then I try to move the kit around the platform too.
Mm-hmm.
You can see there, like I move this one, I move to the center a little bit. So I try to move, so I drill another hole for the platform, on the platform, so I can move the kit a little bit on the center. Yeah, this one is the one that I settle on. But you notice the debris inside the smoke. So that is the original ideas of mine, to put debris, like dust and rocks and stuff inside the smoke that you see. But
Hmm.
for the final one, yeah, I took it out. Yeah, because it's drawing too much attention to the bottom. So it's kind of, because there's a lot of residuals like rocks and small stuff, so people easily to focus on that one more, so they're not gonna spend time to look over the top or another sections of the kit. So I decided to took it out, and just let it like really subtle.
Hmm.
And after this one, I think I filter the smoke a little bit with like some colors to make it
Yeah.
more dusty kind of thing.
What is the broken arm? What's that
Yeah,
from?
it just that from I trying to find something that relate to the Sentinels, and so that arm is from the Mark II Gundam. So they kind of have the same kind of shape and form, and they kind of relate to each other too.
It's
Something.
part of the storytelling, right?
Right. So even though it's just like a small destroyed arm, like a small debris, but it still had the design language needs to
Hmm.
be cohesive, you know, throughout
Right.
the whole build, right?
What is the smoke effect? What are you using there?
It's a fiber, cotton fiber. Is what you find from the stuffed animals. Yeah.
Okay.
So I got a pack. Like a long time ago, I got a pack because my daughter, she likes stuffed animal, but and some of her stuffed animal is just like, the cotton inside is just like loosen out and worn out. So I got a big pack, like really big, like to fill that for her. So I got
Oh, that's
some
awesome.
extra, like, and I took it out and I shaped the form, and you know, I finalize it with like hair sprayer. You can form it like very easy with the hair sprayer. Yeah, for that one.
Yeah, and then you can just kind of paint that dust
Um,
effect just with like an
yeah.
airbrush.
I paint the dust effects with like acrylic, like effects color, brownish, like chipping brown. I remember from Vallejo. Yeah, I mix it with water and just like spray on the top, to have that filter a little bit. You have it, because it's smoke, right? So it has
Hmm.
different color inside. So I spray it with like a little bit like a subtle color for that one, and I block everything with like hairspray. Yeah, and I can shape everything. So yeah,
Nice.
my ideas at the beginning is like I want to put out a pose that you can view it from every angles. Like at
Hmm.
any angles, it's gonna be a good pose.
I think it definitely has that effect. It's
Right.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Are there any other kind of little details or specific things during the build that you want to highlight?
This is actually my first time doing like weather kit, because
Oh wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
because most of my build is like clean build. Like
Hmm.
I really like weathering, and before I did a lot of like weather kits as well, but just like smaller size kind of thing, just to test out the water. And I always want to build a bigger kit, a bigger build that 100% dedicate to weathering style. But to me, weathering is not like really heavily weathers. It's just I want to be it really subtle. I want to be something like Naoki, Naoki did that really well. From his because I have some of his um work on the magazine, and I see like he so good on that one. Like when you see it's far away, it's a really clean kit, and when you see up close, it's like a lot of details that you have to analyze,
Yeah.
and look around.
You're rewarding a viewer not just from far away, but when they get closer, then there's even more
Yeah,
interesting
yeah,
things to look
yeah.
at.
That's
Sure.
why like when you get to look like gunpla build in person, it's gonna be a total like different experience when you see photos online, because some photos online you cannot describe how
Yeah.
awesome it is. Like for example, pan build,
Hmm.
when you look at like in person, it's like crazy. It's like so good. And even like in the photos you cannot like describe that, right? um
Right.
yeah, yeah. And even all the entries like in the final, like when you look at in person, is totally different experience.
Yeah,
That's why, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about GBWC. So, how did you feel when you found out you won
Oh,
the Canadian Championship?
oh yeah, it's not in my plan. And as and I told you before, this is just my entry that out the blue, like I want to dedicate to my mom. So I want to spend that this entry um as one of my mom wishes for me, to enter this one in a competition. And I didn't, like, me and my wife, like, we didn't plan, or we didn't put a lot of effort, honestly. As you can see, my other works, this one is just not, not that not a lot of efforts that in term of customize that I put into. It
Hmm.
just I did light work of customize, still involved with track build, still involved in like putty work, but compared to what I did before, I think this one is not, you know, comparable to what I did.
Hmm.
But what I happy about this one is the story behind it, and the painting. I get to experience new style painting that get out of my comfort zone, which is like clean built. And like way before, like I really love shading, and I didn't have really have a chance to do any shading until now. I can do shading, weathering at the same time, and diorama at the same time, which is like so awesome that I can
Hmm.
pull out this build, right? And especially diorama, which is one of my weakness, I think. I didn't like from the past until now, I didn't spend a lot of time to working on to work seriously on diorama,
Mm.
and I always have ideas. I always have ideas, and I always have time and execution to put out diorama, but I just myself, I just like, didn't want to try. So that's what hold me back. Until now I can, finally feel free to do whatever I want. Actually, I entered GBWC in 2020, like 2022, with a Mark II high grade, and I did a lot of like kit bash. I did a lot of like details, and I did a lot of like enhancement on the silhouette, and even diorama on that one, concept on that one. But it just at that time, when I worked on that one, I forced myself that I need to get something out of this one. So sometimes that might be the reason to hold me back, because I because
You're like trying to
yeah,
win. Maybe that focus is winning
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
not the
It's
process
like
itself.
it's
Mm.
like it's like I know that I put a lot of effort into that, so I think I should need something to pay back, right? At that time. So I think that's one of the reason that the the build that I finished, even though it's still hold up pretty well, it's still looking very good to me, to my standard, but something behind that, the story behind that, the time that I work on that is just not comparable to the piece that I have right now. I have all the
Mm.
free mind when I working on this one. Yeah,
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 that's amazing. I mean,
yeah.
that's such an inspiring story to hear, and yeah, perhaps the freedom that you felt to do new things. Yeah.
That that's really coincident, because uh you know gunpla is always freedom, right? It's a slogan
Mm.
from a long time now. So some
That's true.
people, or even myself, that we heard about that, but sometimes when we work, uh, that freedom, that term, it's just not there anymore sometimes.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
it just like people, when people work, they just think about the outcome. They just think about the goal that they want to set out, and the term freedom sometimes gets forgotten, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I
That's
think
yeah.
yeah, I think the important thing is not your skill set, your experience might be a huge aspect when you do professional gunpla building. But sometimes, um, yeah, to me, like after the finals, after this build, my whole mindset from viewing gunpla is to change somehow. Like you not always have to do complicated stuff. Just feel free to build, and feel free to try new things, show people your new experience. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool that way too. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I love. Thank you for sharing that. That's yeah, really profound, and I love that you learned that through this experience. Going to Japan and seeing the other competitors, were there any builds that really caught your attention
Oh, yeah.
when you were there?
When I was there, like honestly, I saw China online before, so I know that China would be one of the top entry because look at the video that he produced, look at the work. But when I get to see in person, one of the build that I get really amazed is Australia one, the God Gundam.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, in person is super good. Like it's so big and it's so into your face, and the storytelling is so good, and the way that he used the materials, he used the elements is so smart. He used he struck build everything from our daily life, like inkjet cartridge printer, like to build a earth ring. Like everything is so, it's so familiar, but it turned out so good. And another one, I think it should be in the podium is Pan, because seeing it outside, it's just blow my mind. Like the amount of work that he put in, the concept that he has, the executions, the craftsmanship, uh, everything is like so perfect. And but I think one thing that whole Pan's work back is the main kit itself. It's just like the dragon is so dominant. But
Mm,
the dragon itself is not the main entry. And I think that's one of the aspect that hold Pan's work back a little bit. If he towards the focus to the Vita more, I think
hmm.
the chance that he would be in the podium is so high, because at that time it's a funny story that is so cool that at that time, when when they announced the winners, so they announced Thailand as the third place, right? So
Hmm.
and after that, they announced Japan's at the second place, and then there's a moment that I look like after Japan, and then they prepare to announce the first place. There's a moment that because Pan sit beside me, like behind me, so at that moment I just look back at Pan, like I believe that Pan should be the first one, and I look at Pan, I say, you got it, man, like, and then it just like check. It's just like Pan, and then I felt a little bit like disappointed at that time, but I think everyone who be there at that day, uh should be, you know qualified for a winner, right? So
Hmm.
every entry is like so good, um so crazy, the craftsmanship, and it's just like my work before the final. I felt a little bit unconfident, a little bit, because my work is so simple. It's just like
Mm.
it looks like out of the box kind of build that I felt, I don't know how the final is gonna be. And when I set it up everything, and I look back, everyone's build is just like so huge and so good. But yeah, it's,
No, I think
yeah.
your work absolutely deserves to be there, and
Oh,
just
yeah.
hearing you talk about your story and hearing you talk about how you
uh,
put it
and
together. Yeah,
and
I think
and
you should absolutely feel like
right.
you belong for
And
sure.
when I found out about the score, because I just like not really care about the score much. And then when I know like Pan like in fourth place, I'm really happy for him. And when I get my score plate, like I'm in the top six, and it's just like so crazy. It's just like my build that simple. It just can be that that good, right?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
quite an experience for me. And I for sure I know, like when I work on this one, and even though I win, like for Canada. I think my ideas need to be improved. That's why my idea score is a little bit low. But I'm really happy that my craftsmanship and my painting skill that being recognized, right? And I got a really high score on that bar too. It's
Yeah.
really cool. But one more thing, like people keep like message me, like asking, what do you think about Japan build? Like why is there? Like it's understandable, right? When you see it in pictures, it's kind of complicated, like the compositions. But
Mm-hmm.
actually, I think uh, that get me back to the point that when you get to see the work in person, it's totally different. Like Japan's like entry is like crazy in compositions. Like it's opposite with like what people saying online about composition. It's just like a big mass kind of thing, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you see
Mm-hmm.
in person, like there's a lot of things that you need to move around. Like you need to move your eyes around, and you need to like spectate like every angle of the build, and it's kind of crazy that he can put out that good. And
Yeah.
even the painting is like so good too, and the ideas is like pretty good, so that's why it's get a really high score in ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's a build that you really need to see in 3D, right? Like
Right, right. Yeah,
the pictures don't do
I
it
think
justice.
so. I think so because the pictures like cannot describe it. It's just like 20%
Right.
of the experience that you get to see in
Mm-hmm.
person. I can say that, and it's quite good. Yeah, yeah, I can say that.
That's
Yeah,
good to hear. Yeah. Pan,
yeah.
because Pan said pretty much the same thing. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
just
We
a
all
tough
we all
tough
felt the
one.
same. Yeah, we all felt the same thing. Like I think he deserved that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy to
Very
see.
cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, it's so great to hear about your experience, and thank you for sharing with us. And yeah, so happy for you that you got to go and you got to compete and just
All
meet so
right.
many great
Yeah,
builders and see so much work. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man. Well, thank you so much for again like spending the time
Right, right,
to
right. No
talk to
worries.
to
Yeah.
me and hearing the story behind your build and how you talk about it and what the work that you put into it makes me appreciate it so much more too. So thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Um,
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me.
oh yeah, absolutely. Before we go, we always end our interview with some quick hitter questions. So,
Okay. Yeah.
are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first question is, what's the your all time favorite kit that you've put together?
Gundam H is one of my favorite Gundam series, and H2 is one of my favorite design. Which is gonna be weird to some people, but I love the series. I love the design. And the second favorite Gundam design is Sentinels. Like all the kits in generals in Sentinels is like super awesome in terms of how how the look, the design, the shape, the functions behind every kit, especially the Mark 5. It's very nice.
Nice. I can see your backlog wall in the back
Oh
there. How
yeah.
many kits do you think you have?
Don't make me to count. So I feel bad. Like every time I bought a kit, I feel bad because that kit is gonna stay there forever, I know. But yeah, I try to finish everything, but yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah. What do you
don't
think?
I
Like
don't be
50, 100,
no,
200?
probably 300 because I have
Wow.
another backlog in the closet inside, so there's a bunch of it.
Very
But
cool.
yeah,
Okay,
right.
so like if you had a choice, would you take one kit that has 1,000 pieces or
Uh,
10 kits that have 100 pieces?
uh, Good questions. I think for now, the scenario right now, I would take one kit with 1,000 pieces. Because it's gonna look better compared to
Okay.
10 kits that have 100 pieces. Of course. But before I would do opposite. Like have a
Nice.
lot.
So that you're right now that's your answer. Okay, good answer.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah, yeah.
have a grail kit
A grill,
And if so, yeah.
like
So it's like the kit that you just maybe you have it, maybe you don't have it, but it's just something that you really, really wanted to
oh
own.
yeah, I think the Phoenix is one of my grill kit, the narrative one, because I didn't have
The
that.
PG?
Yeah, the PG, yeah, I didn't have that, and I really love her looks.
Nice.
And for that kit, I don't have to paint, which is good.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I just assemble and display so that I'm happy enough. I don't have to put a lot
Great.
of work.
Good choice. Of a paint company made a special edition Akio color, what would you want that color to be?
Of course, light blue. Uh, yeah, because I love blue. Yeah, you can see in my on my Instagram, everything is like blue. So I spent my whole like gunpla career to working on mixing blues, uh, like different shade of blue. So definitely
Nice.
blue is my topic. If
Okay.
if there's a kid produce, yeah,
Nice. Yeah, good
yeah,
answer.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What do you do with your extra pieces? So
Like,
like any hands, extra
oh yeah,
weapons.
I store in the box actually. I store it in the box like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
So
that is that for all your kits or is that
it's just like no, it's not. It's like different. It's like a shorted one. Like I have 3D print. I have original kit. I have knockoff kit. Like everything I put in like different boxes, but I have like two, three boxes like that. But I try
nice?
to keep everything. So in case that I want to use anything, I can just take it.
Right.
Because hands, right? Like there's a lot of hands. The
Yeah.
extra stuff. Yeah, so I try to store in one place that I can get easy access to. And even like extra armor parts, I try to keep in one place too. So whenever I do keep passions or anything, I can, find it.
You can dig it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Everyone, I think everyone has their own kind of wrap, like yard that
Yeah.
you can find anytime, right?
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you keep your boxes when you finish building a kit?
Oh, of course, yeah. I keep my boxes, and that's when I get a lot of complaints. Um, from who you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I try to keep everything. But I saw a lot of like trends online recently that people cut out and do it like some
Hmm. Little display or
TCG, like
poster or
yeah,
something.
TC3 kind of shape, like card stuff, and they put in a case, acrylic case, which is
Mm-hmm, hmm.
really good ideas. But yeah, I want to do that sometime. I think it's a good way to store your memories, kid. But I
Right.
just like don't have time. Just like whenever I finish it, just put it back into backlog. So
Okay.
yeah,
Do you have a tool that you really love to use that is really
uh-huh.
useful that maybe people wouldn't necessarily have on their workbench?
I think the chopper. Do you know the chopper? Um, this one. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
like it's
a
like a plastic cutting tool?
yeah, yeah. This one's so useful. But I don't think people use it. People gonna use it a lot, but I use it a lot.
Nice.
It's to cut like small pieces, for the details, surface details.
Yeah.
To me, I think it's so useful. Like some people, they just like, why don't you just like put on a cutting mat and then just measure and cut, 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 and then that's good. But to me, I think taking use of this one and it's more
Mm,
precise, for
right.
this one too. So I think this one is pretty good.
Do you watch or listen to anything while you're building?
Oh yeah. I am mostly I listen to lo-fi sound kind of thing, like
Hmm.
chill music, that get you relaxed. S- but that's just when I work on something really common like snap build, chiselings, some simple stuff. But when I'm working on something that needs more motivations, or more energy, getting me more ideas and more productive. I try to find some songs that are like in my playlist, like some favorite songs of mine. Yeah, recently I listen to like J-pops a lot. Don't ask me about the name, but it's just like all randoms. I'll say the melody is quite mesmerizing, and it's quite relate to the country that
Hmm.
you
Gets you
know
in that
yeah,
mindset, that Gundam
motherland
mindset a
of
little bit.
Gundam.
Okay, last two. So, can you think of a builder that you like or admire that you think deserves more love and attention?
I think brother. Yeah, he's my friend, but I see him as my younger brother. He the one who introduced me to the gunpla shop, local gunpla shop. Show me
Hmm.
all the good stuff in Edmonton. He gonna need to deserve more attention, but he didn't really active on socials. He get a bunch of good work too.
Nice.
But all like all the builders I know, they all get all the attention. My best friend David,
They
Choco
don't need any
Falcon,
more attention.
yeah, Choco Falcon.
Right.
Choco Falcon is my best friend. Uh, he he's super popular. Ryan,
You're
don't
right.
have to
Yeah.
talk about Ryan. So he's famous already. So yeah, so those people are my best friend. And we get along like 5 years, 6 years already. Uh, and then we spend a lot of time talk and hang out too. Like not like gunpla, but like daily life too.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I'm so happy that they got all the attention and they all achieved something. It's a fun story. Like from out of those like three, like me, Ryan, and Joe Falcon, before, they are like champions, right? Yeah, like when I hang out with them, like I kind of felt like, wow, I need to one day to be like them. I need to have something to prove myself. And David, like Joe Falcon, like he told me, oh, one day you will be. Don't have to rush. Just enjoy the process. Feel free to work on something that you want. And last year when I decided to join the competition, and last year Ryan like took a break
Hmm.
from competitions. Like I actually like messaged him like, oh, thanks man, like you not compete this year. Oh, so I'm so grateful. So but Ryan told me no, even if like he compete, like everyone's like gonna have a chance and have fun together, right? Because
Yeah.
it's a community. It's good to be in the community and have fun together rather than just compete, right? Compete is just a process of it. It's a part of it.
No, it's great to have like a supportive group of people that
Right,
are really
right,
great builders. It doesn't
right,
feel like
right,
you're always having to compete with each other. I think
right, right, right,
that's a
right, right.
good sort of
And
attitude,
yeah,
and
and the community is all about like encourage uh everyone, right? So
right.
that's what I want to be in my mindset, that all my contents gonna have a little bit of inspiring people in it. Like uh, I try to
Yeah.
encourage people to do more gunplay, more contents, connect to each other, talk more, learn more from each other. So that I think that's gonna
Yeah.
create a good habit and a good
Yeah. Absolutely.
environment too.
Right. 100%. Okay. Last question: is there anyone that I should record with next?
Oh,
And the twist is you have to help me convince them to talk to me.
oh, really? Oh, wow. So yeah, yeah, I can hook you up to Joker Falcon or Ryan if you want to talk
Oh
about
yeah,
that. Yeah, yeah.
that would be
But
awesome.
I think Jackie, you can talk with Jackie. Jackie is Australian winners, or you can talk with New Rising Stars. Um, so Jackie Ying is Singapore champion this year.
Awesome, awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's my last question. So, Tan, thank you so much again for just spending all the time with me and sharing
Oh
your
yeah, yeah,
process.
yeah.
And I can't wait to see what you come up with next. And I'm really looking forward to following your work and seeing you continue to build. So,
Definitely, yeah, yeah. Keep in touch.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
Big congratulations to Akio again for his GBWC win and Japan experience. You can find him at Akio0504 on Instagram. And that is the end of our season. I want to thank all the amazing guests so much for your time, your knowledge, and generosity in sharing your amazing work. Austin, CD, Cobra, Danzer, Lucara, George, Coop, Pan, Burial, Luke, Plamapugia, Dwayne, and Akio. Thank you all. This season would not exist and would not have been successful without you. Thank you for entrusting me with your stories and your work. Big thanks as well to Atrians for the logo, Splash Paints for their partnership, my wife, the Undergated crew, and of course, all of you for sharing the episodes, leaving comments, and giving feedback. I've had a blast producing these. I'm Ricky, and for one last time this season, thanks for listening, and happy building.
Newtype Notebook has an official sponsor, and that's Splash Paints. Splash makes up 80 or 90% of my paint collection. It's great, ready to spray airbrush lacquer paints made in Oregon. Super smooth, great coverage, super durable. They have everything you could need to bring your model to the next level. Primers, mecha colors, including the classic Evangelion colors, military colors, metallics, not to mention hundreds of car colors. I personally love using the military colors in my mecha builds just to give them a real world sensibility. The Candy Red and 2K Clear were my secret weapons for my RE100 Nightingale. And I won't use any other paint brands for my 124 scale car kits. You can order Splash Paints direct from splash-paints.com. Splash will be giving away paints to a lucky Newtype Notebook listener for every episode of this season. Keep an eye on the Undergated Network Instagram for more details.